It's a little bit down in the dumps again this Friday, and is that making the headlines this Friday in the papers as well?
It is indeed. The Wall Street Journal Europe here, you can see the front cover there at the top. There are graphs showing the falls in major indices around the world this month, all down and all in red, except one there you can see yellow. Gold futures are up, and the troy ounce is now skyrocketing. The gold per troy ounce is skyrocketing. Now, the Wall Street Journal in its inside pages has a look at that. It calls "Return of Gold Fever Stirs California Ghost Town," and that's the town of Bodie. One company, Cougar Gold, says there could be several million ounces of the yellow stuff in that town. It was a gold mine center in 1880. The hitch, though, is that the federal government is calling that a sanctuary, and such areas are protected. Now, Congress has a bill which says that basically such areas should be opened up for resource extraction, and that's sparked debate about the possible impact of the return of gold diggers. Still with gold, the Irish Times has this photo of Hugo Chavez. It's saying that the ailing president of Venezuela will nationalize Venezuela's gold industry. He's doing so because of the price surge. He reports gold stocks will be pulled out of Western countries. Venezuela will send them instead to political allied countries such as Russia, China, and Brazil.
Okay, well, diplomatic pressure on the Syrian president. Let's move on to that story because that's certainly intensified. Excuse me. And the EU and the US now united in calling him for him to go. But what's the press making of all that?
Well, The Guardian, in its editorial here, I can show you Assad at bay. It's saying that while the current position of the European Union and Washington seems to be strong, that in fact it's not terribly strong. There are a few instruments at the disposal of Western countries. There's no possibility of military intervention, and Syria is comparatively immune to economic sanctions. The Gulf News in the United Arab Emirates has a comment piece called "Window to Save Syria is Closing." It's written by Marwan Al-Kabalan. He is a lecturer in international relations at Damascus University, and he says that Assad's heavy-handed security approach, the disinformation that's gone on, and the minor concessions amount to a tragic response to Syria's crisis. And that writer there from Damascus University calls for a new constitution and a process of national reconciliation. But those things, he says, are not on the cards.
Okay.
And I'm just going to switch now to the story that's breaking here about India. The anti-corruption crusader Anna Hazare is leaving jail in New Delhi, and the Times of India has this piece on him. It's basically saying that the government has shot itself in the foot by arresting him in the first place, and there we can see a cartoon in the Times of India showing Hazare scoring 1 point first by being detained, 5 points by staying in prison and refusing to be released, and then a knockout now. He's dominating the government with his demands that a bill on anti-corruption is beefed up.
Okay, great. Thank you very much indeed, Nicholas, for that look at some international newspaper stories this Friday. Well, let's take a look now at our top stories here on France 24 this Friday. The Indian anti-corruption campaigner, as we've been hearing, Anna Hazare, has left prison in Delhi to begin a 15-day hunger strike that will be taking place in a public park in the Indian capital from today. Libyan rebels say they're in control of the country's last functioning oil refinery in